Today's social media segment is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System. Your health is our legacy. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bork, know your rights.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Bayou Time. I'm your host, Keith Weissite, licensed clinical social worker with Terrebonne Home Care. Very glad you're joining us. However you may be joining us, we appreciate it very, very much. And you know, when we have news that we need to bring to you, when it comes from Lafourche Parish, we like to go and reach out to our contact there, Lafourche Parish Sheriff's Office, Captain Brendan Mathern. Captain, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us, Keith.
Very cool. All right, seems like we've got a gentleman here, Mr. Carl Anderson, a registered sex offender whom you guys had an arrest here recently on Monday.
Yes, as you can see from the photo, 55-year-old Carl Anderson was arrested following an incident over the weekend. You see that surveillance photo with him wearing basically what amounts to a ski mask. And ultimately, that's what got him into hot water here. We got a call around 9:30 on July 20th and responded to a report of a suspicious person at an apartment complex in Matthews. Ultimately, a woman in her 30s was home with her 4 kids when she got a knock on the door. Now, as you can imagine, Keith, getting a knock on the door, after 9 o'clock on any night, and then looking at your camera and seeing that image, I think would frighten a lot of people. And ultimately, after looking at her camera and seeing the image, she was able to communicate through the camera, asking the man what he wanted, and he ultimately did not respond and eventually left. We searched the area initially, could not locate him. But we, through investigation, did develop Anderson as a suspect in the case and found him traveling in the La Rose area on East Main Street, conducted a traffic stop. He had an active warrant for contempt of court, so he was immediately taken into custody, and we brought him back to our Criminal Operations Center to question him about the incident. Ultimately, he admitted to being the person in the photograph, but he refused to answer any questions about why he was wearing his mask, what he was doing there, ultimately, and any people that he was with. So he was ultimately arrested, as you see here, for 5 counts of terrorizing, driving under suspension, and a charge of the contempt of court warrant. And Keith, you see that wearing a mask in a public place is prohibited by parish ordinance. Obviously, that's not a state statute, but there is a parish ordinance on the books. And without going into deep into the specifics, essentially outlaws wearing a mask to conceal your face in public places. Now, you don't see that charge too often. In fact, we've only done news releases about it. Maybe this is about the 2nd or 3rd time we've ever done it. And I think that's a situation where, it's in very specific circumstances that someone would be charged with that. Ultimately, during Halloween and things like that, that doesn't apply. But, outside of those holidays like Mardi Gras and Halloween where it's acceptable, that's something that is not allowed under parish ordinance.
Yeah, and it was very clear that this gentleman was trying to hide his face at this residence, knocking on a door. Now, you had mentioned that he is a sex offender prior to this arrest. Any information about the type of crime maybe that was related to him being identified as a sex offender?
Yeah, and again, this information comes after the fact to the victim here in this situation, but he does have a conviction from May of 1991 for molestation of a juvenile, carnal knowledge of a juvenile, and he has 2 counts of failure to register as a sex offender. So he has not been, so to speak, a model registered sex offender even after his conviction in 1991. He served time and was released in June of 1998, where he had to continuously be registered and have an active registered, have his registration active. And he's failed to do that at least on a couple of occasions. So now he's facing new charges. And look, detectives are still questioning him in regard to this incident. The investigation is not over. We believe there could have been additional people involved, possibly even additional victims. So if you encountered this individual, we definitely encourage you to give us a call and report it.
Yeah, and more importantly, this mother with 4 children, not necessarily knowing the individual or because of him asking and not knowing him or his history. Now, even more alarming with these, how and what the sex offense was prior.
And look, I mean, ultimately, we hope this is a lesson to people, especially for the youth. We've had incidents in recent weeks with regards to, replica guns or toy guns, and we've had charges brought. So we hope that this is a lesson for any youth that are wanting to do things, that used to be common back in the day, knocking on somebody's door and running, or ringing a doorbell and running. Well, you can genuinely cause people to fear, and it's terrorizing. And in this case, we believe that there could have been we don't know what the intentions were, and we're trying to determine that. But ultimately, we just want to make sure that message is received to the public, that this sort of behavior is just not going to be tolerated.
Right. One last thing, a good important thing, this rape aggression defense course for August, as we kind of wrap up here. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so our RAD courses, rape aggression defense courses, is something that we're very proud of at the Sheriff's Office. It's it's very affordable at just $10, and that just helps us pay for the class materials. But this is a course that if you ever encounter a woman that has taken the course, they will tell you how phenomenal it is, and just the sheer amount of information and training that you get in a small 3-day window. It is over the course of 3 nights, and this one is coming up on August 27th through the 29th. It's going to be at LCO Middle School, LaRose Cutoff Middle School, on West Main Street in LaRose. We do, by the way, Keith, I kind of a spoiler alert here, we will be coming out with news releases in the coming weeks about additional courses in the central and north area of Lafourche Parish. This one is going on in the south area. It starts at 6 and ends at 9:30 each night over the course of 3 nights. And you must attend all 3 days. We have certified RAD instructors that will be teaching you. One of the common questions we get is, how old do you have to be to take the course? And there really is no age limit. We just understand that it's a rape aggression defense course. So as long as your daughter is understanding of what rape is and those sort of things, we welcome any and everybody to come and take the course. And these are only open to women, and we understand, the concern there, but there's different opportunities for men in training, but we want it to be very private, and we don't want to, have a situation where anybody is afraid to attend. We want them to feel very comfortable in these environments.
Brennan, we thank you so very much for all your information and clarification. We thank you.
Thank you, Keith.
All right, guys, that'll do it for this particular segment, but don't go anywhere. A lot more Bayou time when we continue.
Summer's heating up, and so are the deals at A.J. Doman Chevrolet, where you get a 2024 Silverado Crew Cab for $38,990 with your 2010 or newer trade. Don't miss out on these great deals happening now at A.J. Doman Chevrolet. Let our friendly staff help you with your next new or used car purchase here at A.J. Doman Chevrolet at the foot of the Morgan City Bridge in Berwick.